Let's get into some game notes. I told you Mike White was god-awful. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, oh, he should be quarterback 3 if he's even on the team anymore. I'm just being honest. Look, if I did my job that poorly, there would be some consequences. I'm just saying that. Why would you agree with that? If I did my job very poorly, there would be some type of consequence. Everybody says, that's fine. Yes, honest. But then when you give a quarterback, hey, he's doing his job very poorly. Well, man, you're really going after him. Like, I'm just being honest. Nonetheless, Skylar Thompson, in my opinion, quarterback 2, we'll see. Here's some of my game notes that I saw. So Baker Mayfield and the starters played a series yesterday, and they looked like the starters. It was an easy drive down the field, and they scored a touchdown. Baker Mayfield, sharp, looking good, throwing good passes.
Also, he was going against
He was going against really bad guys. Nonetheless, defensive standout, Channing Tindall. He was all over the field. They actually asked Mike McDaniel after the game about it. He said he really feels as though Channing Tindall kind of turning the corner. Remember, he's a third-round draft pick out of Georgia a couple of years back. He's been a special teams player maybe this year. Channing Tindall, he's looked good in the preseason. This could be the year that he kind of makes more of a, what would you call it, more of his opportunities with the Dolphins than just special teams. Yeah, maximizes his time with the Dolphins and maybe get some plays. He looked good. Once again, it's preseason. We'll see. Malik Washington, he made a name for himself yesterday.
Before almost getting killed by Mike White?
He got injured, yes, because Mike White threw right over the middle, kind of high. He did not catch the pass, but he did get drilled. Nonetheless, Malik Washington had some good returns. He actually had a very good run on kind of an end-around flip pass, and then he caught some passes. Now, he might not make the team because, of course, maybe the wide receiver room going to be pretty packed, but he's going to make a team. After seeing what I saw last night, I was impressed, and everyone's been raving about what he's done during the joint practices and training camp. So Malik Washington showed some of that electricity last night, but also I don't know if it was enough to possibly make this team. Tuesday is cutting day. Tuesday, we're going to find out who made the team, who didn't make the team. I will say this, and I don't think it's a cause for concern. As you watch the game, you forgot that Braxton Berrios was playing because he was a non-factor, but he's one of those guys, not really worried about him during the preseason. You just figure, put him in the game, regular season, he'll be absolutely fine. But Malik Washington definitely did himself some very good favors. Storm Duck. We love Storm Duck. Everybody loves Storm Duck. Everyone's been talking about undrafted DB Storm Duck and Isaiah Johnson. Well, they both got beat for a touchdown yesterday. But the good news, Vlad, it was a perfect pass and catch for both of them. So Storm Duck didn't get burned. He was in position. It was just a fade route to the corner of the end zone. Boom, touchdown. What are you going to do? Isaiah Johnson actually broke up a fade route in the end zone, but then they ran the next play, exact same play again. And once again, beautiful pass, beautiful catch. We'll see. Storm Duck, Isaiah Johnson, I thought they were okay. They weren't anything special. Ooh, speaking of not special, Vlad, I spent a lot of time last night watching the edge rushers. Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara.
Not a good game for them this week?
Just nothing. Not really any penetration, not really any disruption, just kind of.
But I thought they did very well during the practice during the week.
Okay. In the game, though,
because Tristan Wirfs was talking very highly about Chop Robinson.
They were, but I will say in the game, and I kept an eye, nothing, man. Chop Robinson had one play where they threw a screen pass, and he came off his block and made a tackle. That was about the only highlight I got from those guys. Really, they didn't stand out. Not to say that they were terrible. They just did not stand out. And I'm not to be piling on. They looked a little undersized. I could say that. Maybe I expected them to be bigger.
That's what Menu's saying right now. Menu_61. He said Chop looked tiny out there.
He did look a little small. Mo Kamara too. Maybe I was expecting him to be bigger. I don't know. They looked a little undersized. They underwhelmed last night. But once again, game 3 of the preseason.
They're rookies. They're going to go through ups and downs.
Right. And they're going to grow. And when I say grow, they're going to get bigger and stronger. And they're going to grow. Yeah, ups and downs. Trying to find that consistency. I'm not going to, jettison them right because of that. I just didn't think that they were over the top, overly impressive. That's just me. Skylar Thompson, he really liked throwing to the tight ends. The Dolphins caught a touchdown by a tight end. They didn't do that last night. The first touchdown. Got to give it to our guy. His name's Hayden Rucci out of Wisconsin. He's like the 8th string tight end. He actually had probably the best game of any offensive player for the Dolphins. He caught a touchdown. That is the first touchdown from a Dolphin tight end in a long time. He had 5 receptions for 44 yards and a touchdown.
All right. Let's keep it a buck, guys. When you got Hill, Waddle, Mostert, A-Chain, you're not gonna. It's not really room for touchdowns to be had by other players, especially the tight end position.
Yeah, but you got to get one touchdown in a season.
I mean, I can understand that, but
and you're one of the most prolific offenses of all time.
Right, with speed. Yeah. When the boys get the ball, they go into the end zone.
Still, man, you should have one tight end touchdown. We see how important tight ends are. Look at the teams that have done really well.
I get it. I understand, but I'm just saying but if you look at the team, you can understand why tight end hasn't gotten a touchdown.
Okay. Still, I'm guessing if you asked Mike White, not ask Mike White anything, he probably is hiding right now. If you ask Mike McDaniel, do you want a little more touchdown production out of your tight ends? He would say, yeah.
If it's there,
0.
If it's there,
0. Jonnu Smith, though, he's going to correct all that this year. He's going to be fine. 2 guys that continue to impress. Second-round draft pick Patrick Paul played the whole game. He did play some left and right tackle. He looked more natural on the right side. On the left side, not as natural, but when he got on that right side, which is where he naturally plays, he looked very, very impressive. Finishing off blocks, just really looking like he's looked all preseason.
Well, somebody's going to have to learn how to play the left side because you got Austin Jackson on the right side, and this is Teron Armstead pretty much his last year. So
right,
they're trying to get Paul to become the left tackle.
Right. And we know there's a lot of shifting on the offensive line for any team, but especially this team. So he's going to have to learn how to play out of quote unquote position, but he did look good. And Jalen Wright just looks like a pro. I'm not going to lie. 4th round pick out of Tennessee. We moved up in the draft.
A lot of people are saying he is a sneaky fantasy football draft.
I mean, Devon A-Chain was last year.
Right. Because of the fact that Mostert and A-Chain may get hurt.
Yeah.
And when it gets cold, somebody may be getting a lot of the carries.
And he is a little thicker and a little bit more of a physical runner than I would say A-Chan and Mostert. At least what I've seen in the preseason. Once again, can't glean that much from it, but he is thicker and a little more physical. And he does have blistering speed. And what I like about him is decision making. He is a smart player that makes really quick, good decisions. They were interviewing fullback Alec Ingold during the second quarter. And Alec Ingold he was praising everybody, of course. He's not going to go in there. But he was saying, man, and he was pointing out the things that Jalen Wright was doing, like his awareness and the way he ran. And it made sense. Jalen Wright looks like a pro. And I expect him to be another weapon that Mike McDaniel is going to use this year. I was very happy with that. Did you know that John Embry coached the second half? Tight ends coach. Coach the second half just in case, Mike McDaniel ever has to miss a game or something for illness or whatever it may be.
So he's second in command?
He's the guy that if Mike McDaniel isn't there, he will be the guy that is coaching the team. I didn't really see all that much difference. John Embry was the head coach, but Mike McDaniel was still calling the offensive plays. So kind of interesting right there. Kyrick McGowan. He was okay returning, but towards the end, he did make some really nice catches, caught a really good touchdown. Don't think he's going to make the team, but with the great catch that he made in the end zone at the end of the game, getting his tootsies down just in time to get that final touchdown, maybe he'll make a practice squad somewhere. But if not, hey, at least he caught a touchdown pass in the NFL. I'm going to give him credit for that. Pretty good stuff. Mike White, no flow, not a lot of checkdowns. It was not the greatest day for him. And I do think even with first string, second string, for the most part, the Tampa Bay Bucks were a more physical team. There were some times where they blew people off the line on both sides. So, and when I say blow, like knocked them off their feet and stuff like that. So Tampa Bay's a good team. Remember, they made the playoffs last year, won a playoff game. They're going to be contending in a very, very garbage NFC South. And I don't care what anybody says, Falcons are going to contend. The Falcons have looked absolutely miserable and they don't have a clue. Maybe Kirk Cousins corrects that. I don't know. I still think it's between the Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. And I'm not putting much stock in my Saints. I would definitely go with Tampa Bay Bucks. But all in all, not too much, man. Other than that, it just the biggest takeaways was the quarterback situation, which we've gone over. I like that Patrick Paul and Jalen Wright continue to look good, especially Jalen Wright looking like a true pro. And Malik Washington, I think he'll make some type of squad somewhere. I don't know if it'll be here because Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Odell Beckham Jr. still a question mark. That's what I wanted to get to too, Vlad.
I'm shocked by it that he hasn't played at all.
Hasn't practiced.
Yeah, forget the first P that I said. He hasn't even practiced.
And this is the thing that worries me.
He looks great. He looks great on the sidelines with the jersey on and the shorts, but it's,
it would be one thing if everyone would come out whenever they asked about Odell Beckham Jr. and be like, stop asking. He's going to be fine. Everything's going to play. And now you're kind of getting, he hadn't really practiced. You're getting a little more of the roundabout. And where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. So I'm not going to hit the panic button until midweek. If he is not practicing by Thursday,
y'all got fleeced.
I got to worry.
Y'all got fleeced.
I got to worry.
Y'all got fleeced. And I'm sorry to say this. Listen, as a Jet fan, last season when Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets, Odell Beckham, there was rumor that Odell Beckham was going to go to the Jets. Then the Baltimore Ravens came out of nowhere and gave him I believe a 1-year, $18 million contract, 15 of it guaranteed. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy for a guy who's missed a year and a half after injuring himself in the Super Bowl that the Rams won. And he got a ring. Then he signed with you guys. I'm thinking, okay, if he's wide receiver number 3 with Tyreek and Waddle, that's going to be a pretty explosive offense. But to not have practice as of yet, what type of injury do you have? Because if you're not practicing now,
you're 2 weeks away.
You're literally 2 weeks away. And what's his name? Rivers been playing very well.
He's going to miss time during the regular season too, though.
He was playing well.
That wide receiver room that was so paltry is now starting to look a little Malik Washington. Promise we won't get you killed. Go on.